everybody, and welcome to Flower Power. I'm Mark Josephson, the founder and CEO of Cast Iron, and I'm so excited to have you here. I would see people joining. It is so great to see folks coming in. Please, in the chat, introduce where you're from, link to your shop or your profile, get to know each other, and give me a little thumbs up or a one to know that you're alive out there, because the energy from these really help keep all of the panelists going, and it's great to see the community. So thank you so much indeed. Today is a special day. Today is it's all about helping you build and grow a sustainable baking business that you love. So let's break that down into pieces. Building, growing, and loving. That all sounds great, but realistically, how do you do that? Well, in truth, it takes a village. It takes a lot of work and a lot of people to help make something special for you and by you. It all starts with you, a passionate, talented entrepreneur, someone who has drive, world-renowned and world-class skills, and the desire to build something meaningful. Now, meaningful can mean lots of different things, and it certainly means something different to everybody. Maybe you want to have your baking business pay for your childcare. Maybe you want to be able to stay home with your kids. Maybe you love the artistry and want to explore your passion. Or maybe you want to be a millionaire and build the next great big brand. Any of these sound like you? Let us know in the chat what's driving you to be an entrepreneur and what your goals are. So in addition to the principal in this equation, you need help. Everybody needs help. Tom Brady, LeBron James, the best athletes in the world, the best businesses, the best CEOs have coaches. I'm not saying I'm the best CEO, but I have a coach. And coaches, in my experience, are a crucial part of the equation. Coaches are your best friend in your corner. They're the person who helps you see around the corner, helps you be the best you that you can be in your business and in your endeavors. And we are huge believers at coaches and coaching at Cast Iron. And so today we're really lucky to have three of the best coaches in the world here today to talk to you with specific advice and guidance. I guarantee you're going to learn from them and you're going to be better off from it. And what's really cool about our coaches today is that each of these coaches is now partnering with us at Cast Iron to integrate Cast Iron into their curriculum. So in addition to getting coaching on the business and the mindset and pricing and marketing and all those wonderful pieces that we all need help with, you're going to be able to get smarter on how to use Cast Iron as well. And that's really exciting for all of us. And so lastly, it does take great technology, and it takes a team of really passionate, talented people who are building technology. And I know for a fact they were up late, very late last night, building and getting everything ready for today. And I'm looking forward to being able to share with you all of the hard work that they have done to help you build a successful business, a sustainable baking business that you actually love. So we're going to kick it off with one of my favorites. They're all my favorites, like my kids, but really one of my favorites, Sari Kimbell. Sari is going to come on stage in a second. And Sari is a certified coach and a founder of Food Business Success. Excuse me. Sari has incredible experience in just about every part of the food business and has been successfully coaching entrepreneurs since 2015. So Sari, come on up and let's kick this off as you teach us about how to be the boss you deserve.
Hello, everybody. It's so fun. I see some familiar faces or some names. So good. Well, thank you, Cast Iron, for having me here today. This is so fun. I love this topic. So I love when you guys ask me to be a part of this event and teach on this. So we're just going to jump in. I know I have a short amount of time, so let's go. All right. This is the story of probably most of you, right? You make an amazing product. You're like, I make the best cinnamon rolls, the best bread, the best tarts, whatever it is, right? You make something amazing in your home kitchen. Everybody tells you should start a business. You start to think, maybe I should. And then You're like, yes, let's do it. So yeah, you take off your maker hat and you put on your entrepreneur hat and you're like, let's go. I'm starting a business. Great. Okay. If only we could just have these two people who create a business. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we need a boss. We need a manager. We need somebody who's going to direct this ship. We need somebody who's going to like say, here's what needs to be done. And then directs the maker and helps the entrepreneur not get too lost in all of the fun visions, right? And so this is the problem. This is often the problem in when we start a food business. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how to become a better boss, how to create a better relationship with these three people, and they're all you in your business. All right, so keep your fingers on the keyboard if you can. I'd love for you to participate with me. I want you to think about maybe in your own experience, or you can extrapolate from a movie or a TV show. What are some characteristics of a bad boss? I know I've had some really terrible bosses out there. So I'd love for you to just put in the chat. Let me pull that up. What are some characteristics of a bad boss? This one's probably pretty easy. Oh yeah, the first couple. All right. Yeah, I got these. Perfect. I love it. Okay, so you guys nailed them. Micromanages or is a control freak. Not clear on goals or expectations. They change their minds frequently. You're like, what rabbit are we chasing today? Or they just won't make a decision. Like, I can do something if you just tell me what to do. You guys also had some good ones. I don't think I had, but unapproachable, poor listening, disrespectful. So thinks they know everything, impossible to please, resistant to change your ideas. They motivate through fear. They make decisions from emotion. You're like, no. I know you're having a bad day, but that doesn't mean we like stop the whole ship, right? And they never show appreciation or celebrate wins. So yeah, you nailed all of these. They don't like cookies. Yeah, that's a problem too. So this is pretty common. Now, I just want you to put a 1 in the chat if when you think about the relationship with yourself as the maker and then the manager, the boss, are you any of these to yourself? Are you ever a bad boss to yourself? So put a 1 if you can relate to even one of these things. Yeah, we're getting lots of 1s. Indecisive, maybe, changes their mind frequently, probably. Afraid, makes decisions from emotions. Yeah, these are pretty common. Okay, thank you. I see lots of 1s. Yep. So the problem is, and I really believe it does start with the boss, is that bad bosses create bad employees. And bad employees, when we feel like we're working, just think of your own situation. If you're working for a bad boss, these things tend to start happening. You don't trust the situation. You don't trust them. You end up procrastinating because you're like, well, they're going to just change their mind anyway, or they're not going to like it anyway. So we find things to distract ourselves. We don't give it our all, right? A bad employee just is like, nah, they kind of tap out, you know? A bad employee is afraid to take risks or try something new. They goof off, or sometimes it's malicious sabotage. Give up, checks out. So that's the downside, right? If we don't get our bad boss into check, then we create bad employees. And we're both of those things, which is the wildest part, right? So how do we create better bosses? How do we become a great boss? I think, and if you'd love to put it in a chat, what makes a great boss? Now, these are harder to find in pop culture. We don't have a lot of great examples of good bosses, but hopefully maybe I know I've had a couple of really amazing bosses that I can think back to, but put something in there in the chat of like, what makes a great boss? So trust you, realistic goals. I'll put up some of mine. And there's not that many of them, which is crazy. There's a lot of things that a bad boss does, and there's only a couple things you have to do as a great boss. describe a clear vision, goals, and outcomes to the employee, and then allow the employee to use their amazing talents and skills to create it using your own best judgment, right? And that's what some of you guys are saying on here, right? Is encourages teamwork, good communication. They get down, work in the trenches with you, guides you. They set realistic timelines for projects. This is a really important one that we do not get in our own little business world. But if you were operating your business as if it were a job out in the world, right? And I think it's important that we do that. We look at our business that way. But you would never perform well if your boss was like, hey, we're going to make a complete price adjustment and you got 2 hours to do that, or you got 2 days. A good boss sets realistic timelines for projects. They also understand the employee as a whole person, that there's family and friends and health and self-care and lots of other things going on, as well as additional projects that they've assigned. And they look at the whole person and say, let's make adjustments here and there. Maybe this is no longer a priority, or it looks like you need some sleep. I want you to take care of yourself, right? So really important. I think this is a really great characteristic of a great boss. And then they celebrate. They appreciate you. They say, thank you. They say, good job. You made progress. You moved it forward. Thank you. And I hope you're thinking to myself, self, when's the last time I actually said thank you to myself for doing this? And because when we're a great boss to ourselves, then we stay focused. As employees, we stay focused on what we do best. We take bigger risks because we know we won't get yelled at. We won't get gaslit, right? We're like, okay, let me try something new. I don't know exactly how to do it, but I know that my boss trusts me. They know exactly what is expected of them. There's some safety there, again, to go take risks. But they understand, like, here's the guidelines, and here's what I'm trying to accomplish as an employee. And they bring ideas and new solutions to the table. So I think this is really important that we think about, oh, if I'm a better boss to myself, then I'm actually going to be a better employee. And I think we can all attribute, so Gallup is the big kind of organizational group talking about employer relationships. And they've done this huge study with thousands and thousands of people. And they found that when employees who agreed with the statement, my supervisor seems to care about me as a person, they were found to be more productive, contributed more to profit, and were more likely to stay with the company long term. And I think that all can be taken down to the level of you in your business, wearing your maker hat. That if you believe your boss, which is also you, cares about you, then you will be a more productive person. You will contribute to profit. You will stay with the company. You will stay in it, right? And that great employees, they feel valued, they feel appreciated and celebrate. And when you feel that way, you want to keep doing more. It's the wildest thing. It's like it only took me like 5 years of beating the crap out of myself to realize, hey, if I'm actually nice to myself, I'm going to get more done. I'm going to want to keep going. So let me give you 4 ways to become the boss you deserve. Do a P&P weekly, and I'm going to break all these down. Do a Power 5 daily, measure your gains, expand your boss skills. All right, so let's go into each of these quickly. All right. Every business, every entrepreneur, I like to say, always has 10 problems in your business. Okay, let's just accept that as fact. Maybe it's more like 20, maybe it's more like 5, but let's just say on average, you have 10 problems in your business. The biggest problem I find with entrepreneurs is that we think we should not have any problems. what? Another problem? Oh, wait, actually, they're supposed to be there because that's what we're doing. We're just solving problems. So instead of being all caught up in another problem, let's just instead focus on solving the problem without the drama. So I like to do what's called a P&P, or problems and priorities. P&P for short. So I would love for you, if you want to really tame that mean boss and you want to become a better employee, do a P&P planning session each week with yourself as the boss. Put on your manager hat. And you're going to come up with 3 specific problems to solve for that week and 3 priorities to solve them. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to solve everything. It's not going to be, completely done, but we're going to take action to actually solve it. So let me take you through a couple of examples. Problem 1, I want 1 additional farmer's market this season. Priority 1, research additional markets and apply for 2 new ones. Problem 2, website page needs more visuals. Priority 2, decide whether to get professional photos or take them myself, and then take action on that decision. Either find a photographer and book a shoot, or purchase a light box and put time on my calendar to take the photos. Okay, so now we've aligned. Here's my problem. Here's what I'm going to do to start solving it. Problem 3, I'm not sure if I'm profitable. This is one I hear a lot. Priority 3, watch food business success module on pricing for profit, then complete my cost of goods sold, get feedback in Fuel from Sari, and adjust my prices accordingly. All right. So now we don't have drama about the problem. We just have here's the next thing I'm going to do to go solve it. And Jim Collins says, if you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. So 3, and only 3. All right. This is how you start your week. Then we're going to do a Power 5. And a Power 5 is where we start taking action. Things start getting done. We're going to tame the to-do list, because how many of you, put a 1 in the chat, if you have a to-do list that's like a mile long, right? And you just keep adding to it. And then it feels like, well, I got some stuff done, but I actually added more and the ones are rolling in. I added more at the bottom and now I actually have more to do. So I don't actually feel very successful. And when we don't feel successful, we're going to start feeling overwhelmed. We're going to start feeling, just deflated. We're not going to take action. So here's the trick. And I use this with all of my clients, and it changes lives. It changes businesses. So please, if you do only one thing, do this. So I want you to keep a running master list. You have your to-do list. Everything goes on it. Okay. But that's not what we're working off of. Every day, we are going to set 5 results that we are going to create that are aligned with our P&P, but we're going to get 5 things done. Power 5, 5 things, only 5 things. We're going to get those done, no exceptions. And I, my friends, have put my head down on my pillow and realized that I did not get one done, and I get out of bed and I go do it. So you do not go to bed without these 5 things being done. They should be related to your P&P. They should be something that moves those priorities forward and solves those problems. Or you eat a frog. And eating a frog means sending that email that you've been dreading. It's the thing, that application, that sales tax thing that you were like, ugh, I've been moving this to my next day's to-do list for weeks now. Let's just get it done. And usually those things take 5 minutes. So get something done, move your P&P forward. Write it as a specific result, not a task. And I'm going to explain that. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. When completed, you are done for the day. Do a dance, celebrate, high five yourself, pat yourself on the back. You did a great job. You got 5 things done that were intentional and that move the needle forward on your business. And if you want to keep going, great, they're bonuses. But now we don't have the feeling of deflation, like we just keep adding more things. We've actually gotten it done. We got our Power 5 done. Check that off the list. And then we celebrate that you're getting it done. You are successful. It's working. This is a mind hack. I'm not going to lie. It's not like the things that you need to do don't, the number is still there, But when you treat it like this, it changes everything and you will feel more successful, which will energize you and keep you motivated to keep going. So if you want to get my tool and you get the whole book that I wrote, Key Ingredients, you can go to foodbizsuccess.com/cast iron and you can get my Power 5 tool. But here's what it might look like based on our P&P. Identify 2 farmers markets to apply for and review their application process. Now, I didn't say apply because we want to be sure that I can actually do it that day. We don't want to put too much on our Power 5. We want to be sure it can be done. And if, again, you're on a roll and you get everything else done and you want to apply, awesome. But let's give ourselves a little bit of room here for life, right? Evaluate your budget for photography and decide on amount to spend. Watch Pricing for Profit module in Food Business Success. Review sales tax for the month and file sales tax report. Send email to current market requesting a different location. Okay, so these are just some examples, things that I see and know about. But notice that I put these as results, right? By the end of today, I will have done XYZ. Okay, let's move on. I know I want to be mindful of time. So we're going to measure your gains daily. Again, a total mind hack. This is everything. Write 3 things you did that moved your business forward. So every night you're going to write 3 things. Watch COGS video at Food Business Success, decided on a budget for photography, stayed focused for an hour on the farmer's market research and application process. And then write 3 things you will do tomorrow. Complete 1 COGS formula in Sari's spreadsheet, order photography supplies, apply for 1 farmer's market. Then you feel like a success. You're going to start noticing this is gratitude. This is feeling good. This is priming your brain for the next day on all the things you're going to get done. It's a time saver. When you've already decided the day before what you're going to get done tomorrow, you wake up going let's go, right? And when you're celebrating, you feel good. You're making progress. You're winning. So becoming a great boss. The 4th thing is learn to be a better boss, right? Self-compassion daily. So important. Okay. You all said a 1 that you do some mean things to yourself at the beginning. So you're not on camera right now. I want everyone to raise your hand, and I see you, Mark. So arm up. And I want you to pat yourself on the back. Just take a minute. Take a breath. Sometimes I'll put my hand on my heart. Thank you. Thank you for doing this hard stuff. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being a great boss. Thank you for being a great employee. Tell yourself thank you. Don't go it alone. If you go it alone, it's the hardest and least fun way. And it's why most people quit. Because if you're not having fun, you're not going to want to keep doing it. So come and learn more business skills. And it's so amazing. We have all the tools in cast iron that help us get a leg up, but there's a lot more to learn. And we want to start loving our business as a business. Join a community for accountability and for learning and for growth. And I want to welcome you and I'll make an invitation to you that fuels my membership with group coaching and Q&A. And you'll get your questions answered and you'll feel supported. And when you get the book, which thank you, Mark, or Andrea, for putting that link in there. When you get my book, you'll get these resources and you will get a free month offer to come join me in Fuel. So I want to give that as a gift to you guys. So those are the 4 ways. And we need to wrap up. Do a P&P weekly, Power 5 daily, measure the gains, expand your boss skills. And give yourself a little love. Somebody said, made me tear up a little bit. I know, we're so mean to ourselves. We're the worst bosses ever. I love it. Somebody said, this is therapy. Yes. We all can be so much nicer to ourselves, right? So your work going forward is how do we become a better boss to ourselves so that we also are a better employee? So we want to show up, but we don't sabotage the whole thing and we're not procrastinating. Oh my gosh, the dishwasher and doing laundry was never so attractive as when I started being an entrepreneur, right? I don't want to do this. This is hard. And then I'm going to beat the crap out of myself. we can change it. And so I really would encourage you to try one of those tools, go get the book. And thank you. I'll wrap up there, and I'm open if anybody has questions for me. I'm not sure. How am I doing on time, Mark?
We're doing great, Sari. That was
Okay.
amazing. Thank you so much. Just further proof of the talent of you and of our coaches. Sari, you did so much and shared so much in there. One of the things I really took from that was it's cute to have the different hats, but really it allows you to separate who you are and your self-worth from your day job. And that's such a powerful disconnect, especially as we work from home, especially as we're entrepreneurs, and especially as we're trying to do something ourselves. But I do have one question for you,
Yeah.
particularly around creating the problems. All I see are problems. They're puzzles. I love doing puzzles, so that really resonates with me. But actually defining a problem the right way. And like that, like, does it have to be small, like, or discrete, or another tip maybe on how to define a
Mm.
problem or so that people can solve that?
Well, I think that yeah, we maybe don't always use the word problem. I don't have a problem with the word problem. Some people hate that word. So sometimes I say challenges or obstacles, but we're always, as an entrepreneur, that's all we're doing, right? Is like, okay, what do I need to do next? Where's the next thing to solve? Where's the next challenge, the next puzzle? But I do think it's important to say, I think you need something to align it with, right? In order for you to, because a lot of times we end up chasing rabbits. We're
Yeah,
like, this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. And so, like, what is the end goal? Where am I going here? What's the vision of my business? At least in a short term, if not, I teach a 10x process of a longer term goal, but if you have a vision and you have your values that you're aligning everything with, then it makes like, oh, this is the problem I need to
there you go.
solve this week.
Amazing. Well, Sari, I can't thank you enough. Everyone, we will be, there's links to Sari in the chat. We'll share them again. We'll share them for all of our coaches. Finding a coach that you resonate with and that resonates with you is a superpower and a blessing. So, Sari, 1,000 thank yous. Thank you so
Oh, my
much.
pleasure. So fun. Thanks for including me.
Thanks for being here. And so now we turn to another one of my favorites. And Sari talks a lot um, about like what you should be focused on and how to say a lot of yeses. But our next coach, Amanda Schonberg, Chef Amanda Schonberg, she's the coach and founder of Baking for Business. And really, Chef Amanda brings an experience and energy that will fill you up in ways that will keep you going during the tough times. And Chef Amanda is going to talk today about how to say no to things. So put your hands together. Maybe one's in the chat as for like clapping for Chef Amanda Schonberg coming on.
What is going on, Cast Iron Team? What is going on, everyone in the chat? Yes, yes, yes. I want to see you guys drop some hearts. Sari was awesome. Was that not amazing? Wow, this is going to be such an amazing day, a jam-packed day. Food Business Success kicked it off with some great nuggets. I hope you guys caught them. Did you pick up the nuggets? Did you pick up the gems? Oh, that is so amazing. Way to go. Y'all are so awesome. Well, for starters, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all. Yes, I love that. Awesome. I love it. Well, welcome everyone. It is so awesome to have you guys here and to see you all. I pray I did this correctly, y'all. What is going on? I see everyone in the chat. Yes, hello, awesome sauce, love it. Well, today I'm going to be speaking to you guys on how saying no can unlock your business growth. And so let's go ahead and dive into it. I cannot wait to share with you all. So I won't go too much into me. I believe that Mark introduced me, so I'm just super excited to be here with you all. And like he stated, I'm the founder of Baking for Business as well as the Baking for Business podcast. And I know exactly how it feels to try to be a boss, but to also struggle with saying no in business because I've had my cottage food business for going on 9 years now. And so I love baking from home. It is definitely something that has truly, truly changed my life. But in that comes a lot of ups and downs. And there are times where we have a lot of demands. We're trying to answer customers. We're trying to do all the things. We want to market. We want to grow. We want to be on social media. And so many things in the business take over that we tend to actually forget about us, about me. And so that's what we're going to dive into a little bit today. And so, real quick, I want to go over why saying no is so hard. And so, one of the things I find when I speak to all of you guys, or for those of you guys who listen to the Baking for Business podcast, is that in general, most people struggle with saying no just because sometimes we're kind of uncomfortable with how it makes us feel. So, most of us actually started our business because we wanted to be a solution to a problem. So drop the word yes in the chat for me. If that was why you started your business, maybe your community needed good cinnamon rolls, or maybe you wanted to provide exquisite wedding cakes, or maybe you saw a need to do more sugar cookies. So most of us were always so solution based. We have a heart and a passion to serve. We love our products, we love our people in our community, and so that's why we started out. But usually what happens is that when you start a business being the solution, which is an amazing thing, we all should be the solution to our clients' problems, is that if we don't set boundaries, then on the road to trying to be a solution, we end up feeling a little bit like a slave to our business. And I know that that is a sucky word, but I know you guys understand exactly what I mean when I say that. And then all the feelings start coming in, things such as baker burnout. Then we start procrastinating. Drop the word yes in the chat if this has ever happened to you. You've maybe said to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm so burnt out. Or you felt bad because maybe you've missed an event with your kids or with your husband. Or if we're really going to be totally honest, sometimes we even forget to take care of ourselves. I remember one time I was sitting on the bed with my husband. I'm going to keep it PG, but this is just a little joke. And he was rubbing my legs and he says, I wonder what you're going to turn into. And I said, what do you mean, darling? And he was like, well, it's been forever since you shaved your legs. I'm just wondering, will you turn into a werewolf or will you turn into a gorilla? And while he was being funny, I thought, wow, that's so crazy. So do you know what was the first thing that came out of my mouth? I said, well, I've had so many markets and I've been doing so many things. It just slipped my mind, right? Anyone ever do that? Maybe you're not getting your hair done like you should. You're not getting your nails done. It starts with missing out on your workouts. We start doing the things that we know we stop doing the things that we know we should be doing, right? Things that, now don't forget to bathe. Those are really important things. But what happens is that we start saying yes to so many things in a business that we actually start saying no to us. And then what happens is the domino effect. And in regards to that, you end up with a husband that doesn't like a hairy leg wife, or you end up with a child that really misses you when you stayed up all night baking. That's what I hear from a lot of my students. Or you end up with a schedule that is so out of whack because you feel so disoriented and all over the place that it causes you to not focus. And so those are usually some of the reasons of why saying no is so hard, because we feel like when we're saying no that we're being mean, that we're not operating from a spirit of kindness, that we're not serving our people. But one of the things I always tell my students is that you have to say no and you have to get comfortable with it. Because when you start saying no to others, what happens is that you start saying yes to yourself. And so real quick, I want to walk you guys through a little exercise. If you have pen and paper, if you're taking notes on your phone as you're listening, today I want to go ahead and talk about creating your bakery bandwidth and why this is so important. And I see some people in the chats, you guys are saying for sure, wow, love that. Saying no to others means saying yes to myself. Yes, absolutely. And so what I want to encourage you guys today, yep, I see a lot of yeps, ladies. Now hold on, y'all. Y'all gotta shave those legs, all right? Let's I shouldn't see that many yips. So what I want to encourage you guys today is I have two tips for you, two big tips during the small time we have together, which is going to be jam-packed and amazing. But I want you guys to think about creating your bakery bandwidth, because one of the things is that sometimes we see people on social media and they have all these cakes and they have this big, beautiful table, and then that starts to make us compare. And then so we think, well, I have to take more orders, I have to do more things. Maybe I'm not staying up long enough, more, more, more. But everybody has a different bakery bandwidth. And so if you have pen and paper, one of the things I want you to pay attention to is how often do you say yes to yourself? Meaning that I firmly believe we all need an off day. I don't think anyone's home bakery should be open 7 days a week. It's not fair to operate that way. So when you look at your bakery bandwidth, what is your off day? Drop a yes in the chat for me. Do you have an off day? A day where you're not doing anything in the business. You're not watching YouTube videos, you're not practicing, you're not doing anything, a day that you're focusing on you. And then next, aside from having a day just for you, what is a day that you're actually working on the business and not in the business? So, earlier she talked about the P's and P's, which are great, but drop the word admin in the chat. I know a lot of my students, they know I'm really, really big on this, but having a day to where you're actually working on the business and not in the business. And so creating your bakery bandwidth will look like turning your phone off, not taking orders by text, sending people to your website, scheduling time to do things that will help you grow and accelerate. So food business success, she mentioned the markets. Those are wonderful. Actually having the time to pitch yourself to markets, to pitch yourself to other people who are in your community so that you can do collaborations and partnerships and stuff like that. So when you have pen and paper, I want you to look and actually be real and ask yourself, admin Mondays, yes. Those of y'all who follow me and listen to the podcast, you know I'm big on admin Mondays. Are you actually scheduling in time for yourself? And are you actually scheduling in time to work in the business? And so the next thing I have for you, Beverly says, Sunday is going to be my off day, like Monday, admin day. Yes, absolutely. The two are very important. One for you as a whole, a person, so you can go to church or meditate or do what it is you need to do, and then one for the business. The next thing I want you to think about, especially as small business owners, is what do you delegate? I truly believe that you have to delegate to elevate. And one of the reasons why is that if we start saying no to things that someone else can do, we're actually going to end up with a lot more time to ourselves. And one of the things that I hear from so many home bakers, they'll say, well, chef, I can't hire, I can't do this. Well, here's the cool thing. You might not be able to hire, but you can definitely outsource. And so one of the things that I did years ago, and this is something that you probably do, just never even thought to do it for your baking business. I stopped going grocery shopping. So I don't know about y'all, but I love me some Instacart. I love me some Ship. I realized that I was spending so much time going to the store and getting things that that was not a task that necessarily I needed to be doing in my business. And so one of the things I want you guys to think about is what things can you start to delegate in order to free up some of that time in your business? You need to start saying no to grocery shopping. I'm sorry. Let someone else pick up on a 25-pound bag of flour. Let someone else pick up on your sugar. Sharon says that's a problem for me. I don't have anyone to delegate. And I understand that. I love that comment. And thank you so much for being active in the chat. But you guys, That's where systems come into play. So when we aren't able to hire people, we can look and say as business owners, okay, what systems can we use so that we can say no to tasks that are really just small, I like to call bottom of the barrel tasks. Like, again, you don't have to pick up the sugar. Nothing's going to be wrong with picking up the sugar. So I love using grocery delivery services. I sit back, I mark every single thing I need in my business. I let someone else shop. Now I'm actually helping another person. I'm providing for them so that they can have an income. And that 1 hour that I save by running to all the stores, think about what more you can do if an hour of time was added back into your business. So for all of you guys who say, I wish I was more consistent with posting on social media. Well, what if you outsourced? What if you either had your groceries delivered or you had someone do that for you? And then that hour that you're putting back into your business, that allowed you to actually have the time. And so someone says, I don't have anyone to delegate either. That's why I love systems, you guys. So an app such as Instacart, $10 a month. I'm pretty sure all of us in here can afford $10 a month. It is extremely, extremely minimal. Start letting someone else do that for you. And it's going to put so much more time into your business so that you can actually start saying yes to the things that light you up and yes to the things that fuel you. Another thing that I'm really, really big on when we think about our website, right? Sometimes we spend hours trying to work and trying to perfect our website and do all the things. And that's kind of where cast iron comes in. So that's something where you can get a site. I meet so many new bakers. You're operating off of like a Google form, and then you're trying to send pictures back and forth, and then you're DMing clients, send me this, send me that. Check out cast iron and all their new features. Like, let cast iron use the features that they have for you, and that way you can send people, hey, check out my site, hey, here's my page. And so that's just one small way. I can't tell you, I met a young lady last week who told me that clients actually text her. So please, please drop the word no thanks in the chat if you are saying no to clients texting you. I don't know about you guys, but that is miscommunication. I don't want clients texting me. I have a life to live. All the questions that they ask, when you notice that people start asking you questions and you feel so overwhelmed and you feel like you're becoming a slave to your business because your customer service hours are just all over the roof, y'all, that's what a website is for. You can send them to the website and say, hey, here's my menu. Hey, here's our top sellers. Hey, here's a site. Go check it out. Someone says, absolutely. Yes, I definitely encourage you. I know they put the link in the chat, but check them out. Beverly says, I'm loving cast iron so far. Absolutely. So like, y'all, the whole Google form thing, that's over. That's like, that's done with. That's the past. Delegate. Pick a service like cast iron. Start using it. Start making sure that you have your website and your web presence, so that way you can kind of navigate your customer communications a little bit better. And then the last tip I have for you guys, y'all, be honest. Ooh, wow. Sorry, I skipped one. Be honest with yourself when it comes to setting boundaries. And so I think setting boundaries is something that's so important, but that's actually a task that you're actually going to have to delegate to yourself. I love the example that she shared earlier with the different hats. But one of the hats that I want you guys to put on is just really start being okay with saying no. So put on your mom hat. The same way that you're an adult to your kids and you say, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. I want you guys to start being an adult to yourself in your business and start telling yourself no when things don't serve you, when people don't serve you, and when opportunities don't serve you. So I hope you guys remember this: delegate to elevate and operate within your bakery bandwidth. And I hope those 2 tips help you so that you can start saying yes to yourself and have the courage to say no to others to see your growth. Did I make it? Am I on time?
Yes. Unbelievable. I told you Chef Amanda was going to bring the energy and the passion. And if you're not flying after that, I don't know. Chef, you are, you're a magician, actually, I wrote down, because you make things appear that we didn't see before. Like the difference between support in the system and how to start to leverage things that might exist right in front of your face. Is there something that is there another tip or another system or something that really works for you, or that you find that people that are helpful for them?
Wow, let's see.
Or what's something that surprises your clients when they work with you, your students? What's one of the things that unlocks a lot of value for them?
Gosh, I don't know. Maybe my brain's not there. I can't think,
All right.
but I guess just marketing. But one other thing that I tend to say no to, and I know we have some newbies, so I don't want to scare people. When I first started, I used to do pickup and let people pick things up at like all times of the day. I stopped that. I now operate within a pickup window. And so for some people that may scare them because they feel like, oh my gosh, if I force my clients to pick up during this time. But again, it's just about saying yes to yourself. And now most of my orders are delivery. So I even took that option away. So I think sometimes when we know better, we do better, but it just all comes with growth.
We know better, we do better. Every time we talk, I write 15 things down and wonderful sayings. And if you are on this call and you haven't already figured out that having great coaches is a great hack and a superpower to help you do that, you will certainly soon. And you can and Chef, remind everybody where they can find you.
Yes, absolutely. So you guys can find me at bakingforbusiness.com. And then if you go to bakingforbusiness.com/free guide, I have a free guide there with some awesome tips as well. But bakingforbusiness.com is where everything's at.
Awesome. We'll be sure to put that in the chat. Thank you so much. You're the best. And now, as we're going to shift gears to our third amazing coach and presenter for today. I first met Melissa from Build a Better Bakery, and I was struck by I was struck by her experience. I was struck by her passion, and I was struck by how Melissa has such an authentic voice, an authentic experience that connects immediately with everybody. Melissa is a military family, and I know she has a lot of stuff going on, and she's made the time to be supportive of our community and supportive of you all today. So I couldn't be any more thankful for that. Melissa has more than 20 years of experience. She doesn't look it, but she's got 20 years of experience in professional baking, both in commercial and cottage. And Melissa started Build a Better Bakery 5 or 6 years ago, 2018, whatever that was. I'm not good at math, but I am good at welcoming Melissa to the stage. Melissa from Build a Better Bakery, come on and drop some knowledge.
Nice to meet you. Good morning. It's still morning for me. I don't know what time it is for you. Today, I'm happy to be here. Just Cast Iron's awesome Flower Power event is a really great professional development opportunity, and it's free, which is great for everyone here to get in and meet everyone and learn more about all of our topics today. So I wanted to thank Amanda and Sari for being so great as they spoke before me, and of course, Mark and Andrea for running this session. I did want to let you know, I'm a big believer. I have teaching experience, so I'm a believer in taking notes to remember things and kind of log what you're learning. So if you have a notebook and pen, go ahead and grab that. You might want to take some notes about our session today. If we've never met before, as mentioned, I'm Melissa Fryer with Build a Better Bakery. And I did want to mention that I do have a lot of experience with baking from rural storefronts, little tiny storefronts, all the way to $1 million ghost kitchens. And we move a lot with our military lifestyle. So I have my own cottage business in a bunch of different locations, including a tiny 6-mile wide isolated training center, which is pretty random and weird. But the reason I'm saying this is I feel like you really can make it work anywhere as long as you have some good strategy behind what you're doing. And on top of mentoring bakers, I am baking a lot of sourdough. I'm a homeschool mom, a professional showing artist in the local community. I teach classes, and I am knee deep in getting my garden ready for the spring. So if any of those vibe with you, that's who I am. Let me know in the chat if you're into any of that. Definitely, as I have spent the years mentoring bakers across the world, I really like to focus on confidence. Number one, I think that's big. Same as Amanda and Sari were saying, that's a really big part of feeling good and joyful about what you're doing. But also avoiding overwhelm, because we work a lot as bakers and there's just a lot going on. So we just need to focus on, with like our weekly sessions in the Elite Mentorship Program, we do weekly check-ins that helps people feel more grounded. So just having someone you can talk to regularly, I think, is really important. Now, when I meet with people in person or online, one of the things that I really like to do is just dive deep really quick, because I think it's helpful to talk through issues. And one of the frequent questions I get in these talks is, hey, how can I make more money with less time? Right? Like, really common. Let me know either yes or the one in the chat if that sounds like you'd like to make some more money with less time, of course. And that brings us to today's topic of the self-serve porch pop-up. And I'm really just going to be running through this with you because I had a ton of about 3 full years of experience with this recently, with running it straight through 3 years. And I think this is a really cool way to expand what you're doing if you're not already doing something similar. So let me know in the chat. 1, have you done a market just in general? 2, if you've sold from your front porch before. And 3, if you've tried a self-serve porch pop-up already. I just kind of want to see a spread, or just nothing. Just write no or nothing if you haven't tried any of this before. So if you're looking for a way to continue to sell your bakes consistently, we want to try to stay consistent, bring in reliable income. You want to stress less about making sales, and you want to reduce your time spent selling. I do highly recommend the self-serve porch pop-up model. We're going to break it down for you because I think it's important that you see that. And I have not shared my screen yet, have I? Let me get to my slides here. Okay, hopefully you can see that. All right, so we are moving on to what exactly is this? This might not, I haven't shared it yet. There we go. Okay. What is a self-serve porch pop-up? Okay, so I'm going to run through exactly what this is and what it can do. It can allow you to spend more time doing what you want because it's less man hours you have to spend, or woman hours. You can avoid stressing about being available for pickups all the time, sitting outside all day for a market, taking intense custom orders. Those things have their pros and cons, but it can be overwhelming for some people. So this could be a good option for you. Okay, let me just read through here real quick. Okay, looks like some people have not done this before, never tried it. Okay, so great. So yeah, let me know if you have questions because I want to make sure it's making sense. Doing a market, never the porch, looking into it. Okay, great. Move to a new town, don't know where to start. This will be perfect for you. Did a store pop-up, not allowed to do it in your hometown. Okay, so hopefully you'll still get some good info on this. And you could take this model to, like you said, a different, like a store location for sure, but we're gonna be just talking about home. Don't know how to, want to do one. Don't have a porch. That is, I've heard that before. Maybe a tent. Yeah, we'll talk about that. No clue at all. Okay. So number 1, what exactly does it mean to say self-serve porch pop-up? Specifically talking about a situation where you set up your products for sale on your own property. Could be a porch. I'm using the word porch, but it could be a tent. It could be a shed. Could be a bodega if you have like some kind of garage that you can open up. Some people use like trailers. There's lots of opportunities. So anything that would work, and we'll get into the specifics of what that might be. So instead of waiting for people to come by to sell something to them, you're removing a lot of that time waiting around where you can just post options for people to pay for products on like a sign or a tablet, which you may not want to put a tablet out there, but you might. And then you can allow customers to come by during your open hours to browse and shop and pay all on their own. So it's like having a little mini storefront, but you don't actually have to be there, the whole time just sitting there and waiting. You do not need to be present for the transaction. That's kind of the whole point of it. So again, you could do this at other locations, like we have some people commenting about, but today discussing just at your own place of residence. And there's just some other intricacies to like setting up with shops, percentages, commissions, timing, visuals. There's more to that. That's like a totally different subject, which we can always meet up for a private call if you want to talk about that for sure. Now, I would suggest being at home while you're trying this, at least at first, just to make sure nothing happens. But over time, it might not actually be totally necessary for you to be there all the time. I like to be there just because I'll tell you why a little bit, but you know, you could go, you know, run an errand or something if you need to. So I personally offered this type of sale. It was about 4 to 7 days a week. So it wasn't every day. Sometimes I had product or it was holidays and I could just set it up every day and I knew people were going to be around. Our previous location, it had a good porch. Okay. I know some people don't have porches. It had a good porch. It was out of the wind. It was very visible. So it worked out well. And we were right across from a park, which perfect. Had the covered porch. We were on the corner of a busy-ish road. It wasn't the busiest road, but pretty, you know, lots of people. It's like a connection road. And we also had a lot of walkers. So people pushing their strollers, walking their dogs, that kind of thing. So it was that small community I was telling you about. This is where I did this. And word would get around quickly because there wasn't a lot going on there. So I realized it was a very specific area to try this. But I see people doing this in even large cities. So I think it can definitely work for you. Now, the cool thing about it, the stats. So I was putting in about 15 minutes to set it up. I timed myself. And about 15 minutes to break it down. So that includes sweeping the porch, you know, bringing the tables out where you could leave the tables out there, getting the tablecloths, getting the bins, putting the food out, getting it out of the cake fridge, you know, wherever everything is. Really not that much time. Of course, you're going to be baking on the back end, and I'll give you a tip how to make that even faster. But the setup and cleanup, very fast. And it was completely self-serve. So I wasn't really meeting with anyone one-on-one. What I would do is I would bake extras because I had corporate orders, I had subscriptions, I had custom orders, I had markets to attend. I was doing like everything and a lot. And so I would just make extra stuff, and that's what would go out there. It was, you know, I was kind of doubling up on my time baking. And I didn't have to switch gears for it. So income, again, is going to range differently for everyone, but it was about 300 to about 2K a week of just that stuff on top of everything else. And your holidays are going to give you a large spike if your community supports holiday baking sales. So it can range wildly, but it was definitely bringing in money every week. It went pretty well. Okay. But Michigan doesn't allow that for cottage foods, face-to-face transaction only. It would be interesting to know, maybe you could put like, this is just kind of a joke, but what if you like printed out a picture of your face, put it out there? I'm just kidding. I don't know. I would maybe ask someone just to be totally sure. Not sure rules in Florida. Also live in a community with rules related to business. Yeah, okay, so HOA, I didn't put that in the notes, but yeah, HOA, some housing communities are either totally for it or totally against it or kind of a gray area. So I definitely agree you might have to look around for sure. But even if you can't do it, you can possibly take some info from this to do something at a store later. Okay, number 2. So what is self-serve? We've got that covered. Now, moving on, and continue to ask your questions or put your comments. I want to read them. 2, what are some things you'll need to get started with your own self-serve porch pop-up? I'm just going to run through them here, and you can let me know if you have questions about these. You'll absolutely first need to look at your personal sales area. So, you know, not where you live, but well, yes, where you live, your home, not your whole area, but just the house where you plan, or at the property where you plan to set up. Does the area need to be clean and safe to store products out of the weather and direct sunlight? Those are 2 things that can ruin your stuff like ASAP. Do you need to invest in some kind of tent or covering? It sounds like some of you might need to, or a trailer. How about a table or a rack or a bin? So once you pick the spot, make sure it's going to be clean and ready to use. How is everything going to stay up off the ground and stay protected? And where will all the product be held? So do you need to get a fridge to put out there? Do you need to get a cabinet of some kind that has doors? I've literally seen it all. So, you know, you can kind of set it up, whatever your area, your space will hold or your products need. You can usually make it work. You might have to change it up a few times, but you can usually make it work. So you're going to check that everything is safe to use in that area for multiple people. I had in my small porch, it was probably, I don't know, 12 feet by 5 feet. that porch area, I easily had like 10 people in there at one time trying to get stuff. So just imagine that the whole place is filled up. Is everything safe? Are they going to knock anything over? If you have hand railings like going up to the porch or somewhere on your property, are those in working order? Are you able to deal with ice or slippery surfaces? I used to live in a place that had like slate walkway, very slippery. So just watch all that. And then not the topic of this video, but if you do plan to do this, make sure that you have some insurance, because if somebody gets hurt on your property, insurance for your business can help cover that if they were there for like a business reason. So if you don't already have that, definitely look into it. Then you're going to want to think about how are they going to purchase it? You know, once they're there and you're not there, how is that going to go? Can you create a QR code for them to scan to get into your cast iron website? Maybe you have everything loaded in there with some photos. There's another payment platform that they can get to easily. You want to make it super easy. Like imagine a mom with like 3 screaming kids and she walks up to your porch. How can it be so easy for her that she can still make a purchase without being overwhelmed? You want to try to avoid having them type things out. That can get messy and it takes a long time. So QR codes are really a great opportunity. And if you do want to accept cash, I see some people do it, not a problem. Just make sure you have like a secured place, little lockbox that can't be removed. That's something that you can access at the end of the day. Consider how they're going to know the prices. Will each item be marked or is there going to be a menu? Think about how people will know you're open. Will there be a sign somewhere so that they know to approach? How will you keep an eye on the porch area? This is a big one. Do you need to install some kind of security camera that can, like sometimes if you already have the Ring or something similar, it might not show you the whole area. So do you need to install a little camera that shoots down onto the tables so you can see what's going on? Or can you see through a window clearly, etc.? For me, I did one that shot so I could see the top of all the tables and kind of people's like front or head. And then I did one that showed people coming and going from the front of the house. So I had 2 going at the same time just to kind of help match up the videos. All right, so at the very basics, you're going to need a clean area to set up out of the sun and weather. You're going to have items or situations to hold the product securely in case there's maybe a gust of wind or someone's kind of rummaging through products. Just make sure things are secure in there. You're going to need pricing and labels so people can see what's going on. And most states require labels anyway, but you're not going to be there to answer questions. So try to give everyone the most information as possible so that they end up buying it rather than not buying it because they maybe don't know what's in it. You're going to have some kind of signage set up, which we'll talk a little bit about in the marketing section. And just an easy self-serve payment system that's the least amount of clicks possible and takes the least amount of time and is the most accurate you can get. Okay. Let me know if you have questions. Sounds like a great idea. Michigan. Okay, Michigan, Florida. Where should we go to make sure it's allowed in our city? You can definitely look at .gov websites. There's, if you're a cottage baker, there's going to be probably some cottagefood.gov, situation. Every state's completely different and it is confusing. So maybe look into that, or if you have a permit or a license that you got from a, some kind of office, call them, ask them real quick. If you have an HOA, kind of look at the regulations. There might be a few places you have to poke around and kind of see. It looks like cast iron. It looks like Mark put up a link for cottage food law too, which might be helpful. Not sure if this worked in Hempstead, New York. We'll have to figure it out, but how do we go about finding it? Yeah, so the information, it's not a great answer that it's not all in one place, but definitely the .govs for your state. Health department, Daphne says, which is great. Sometimes it's the agricultural department for more rural communities, I've noticed, and then the health department for usually larger groups. Inside a loop of a community and no foot traffic goes through there. Yes, so that's the type of house I have right now. I totally get that. Do you suggest doing weekends and putting up bake sale like garage sign, leading people to my block? Yes, I have considered this as well. And I have, we're in a cul-de-sac and there's kind of like a more main road. I had considered putting like an A-frame or some kind of stick sign. Yes, up there. I also have had really good experience in this particular neighborhood using the Nextdoor app. Not necessarily something I used anywhere else, but so maybe try out different social platforms and see if you can get people on a regular schedule to swing by and check out what you have. Location, name, cottage shoes. Yeah, okay, great. So Mark's giving you some keyword info there to use. Depends on zoning. Yes, Lisa's right. State laws. Since I don't get visual foot traffic in my area, I always get nervous when posting my address on social media. Yeah, so I totally agree. And I'm not telling you to do anything that you feel uncomfortable with. This might not work for you because of that. Totally understandable. I have built a way to feel comfortable with that, with my own like home security and things like that. But I totally get it. This might not be for you. You can definitely use some of these tips if you want to do it like a store or somewhere that isn't as personal to you. Hopefully that could work too, or even some of these tips at markets if you want to do that. Yeah, I agree though. I understand. Fast Earn is all on their side too. Yes, perfect. If you have a picture example, you can share. I didn't, you know, Stephanie, I didn't pull that up. Maybe if you, I can give it to Mark, and if he's going to send you like a replay link or something similar, I can get you some pictures. How do we go about advertising a big sale or porch bake? Yes. Okay. So let's talk about marketing. Oh, I went too far. Look at me. Marketing ideas for your porch pop-up. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, I did this at a very small, isolated place. So the way that I did it there is different than I would do it here, because now we're in El Paso, Texas. Totally different vibe than the middle of the Mojave in California. Isolated from everyone. Okay. So marketing is going to be different, but these are some things that I did at that small place. And then I mentioned like next door selling my sourdough weekly. I sell out in like 30 minutes. Like it's like almost amazing to me because I've never really used Nextdoor before. Some places are heavy on social media. Some places aren't. You might need to get like an email list built, something similar. So let's talk about marketing ideas. And then after I read through this, let me know what you think. So once you decide that a self-serve porch pop-up model is for you, you'll need to let people know about it, right? You can't just set it up and expect people to see it, especially if you live in a place like me where there's no one's driving by. We don't want any of your stuff to get wasted. So we want to be able to tell people. I personally love a good A-frame sign out by the walkway or visual for cars to be placed out when I am open. You might be able to leave it out and have on it that you're closed so people can see when to come by maybe the next day. So on the sign itself, I put the open hours so people know, because sometimes people are driving by, but they can't stop right then. So I let them know, hey, if you get here before 5, it'll be out here. You can put your name of your business, your logo, whatever it is you want, and something about what you sell, or just maybe bake sale, local bake sale, artisan bake sale, something like that, so they can get a vibe for what they're going to see when they walk up to your porch. And then I do put my phone number on the back of the sign, which is visible from the porch only, so that if something happens, there's a problem, people know that they're not just kind of like left by themselves. So that is on the back of the sign. I place this as close to the walking area as I can, trying to corner it between the walkers and the drivers if you have both of those. So it's not in the way, but it's also not going to blow over. So if you have the A-frame, you might want to weigh it down depending on how windy it is in your area. I also like to adorn my house with some kind of business sign. And this is really just so it's visible from the road. So when people pull up, they feel confident to approach, or they feel like they know that they're in the right place. On social accounts, I do make sure that people know that I'm baking for the table before it goes out. So I do, hey, like 24 hours before, 48 hours before, hey, I'm going to have extra brownies. Hey, you can, we're going to have Valentine's cookies, that kind of stuff. Even if you, it would be good if you had photos, but even if you don't, just giving them kind of a heads up. I use a Facebook VIP group for that, so that they kind of get geared up to show up on the day you're going to put it out. As well as every morning, I take a photo of the table stocked. So I do the 15-minute stocking, take a good photo, do some close-ups of things that maybe are a little exciting or that people have been asking for. And I even put up a product list with that image so people don't have to scroll through the photos if they don't want to. That helps people plan their stops easier. So if you can post it in your group, on your page, in the socials, people will usually after work or on lunch break, they'll swing by. So I do that first thing in the morning when it goes out. During my sales days, additionally, you don't have to do this, but I did accept pre-bagged orders. So if I would post in the morning, I would get messages. Hey, can I grab XYZ? I'll pay you, I'll go to your website and pay now. They would do that, and then I would just close up the bag, put their name on it, and I had a little rack where the prepaid orders were. So it was still self-serve. They would come at their convenience, but it had their name and information on it, so no one would take it or open it or try to buy it or anything like that. So you can attempt to somewhat stick to trends for the holidays. I still suggest that because people will be interested in swinging by, especially to browse and kind of look around. And I think this can help if you're having slower pre-sales. Yes, you have to make it beforehand, so there's some risk with that, but then they get to look around and get what they want rather than sometimes people don't want to commit to a pre-sale. So it's a pro and a con. And lastly, don't forget to include your business information on each item. It's going to be important, as well as appropriate labels, because you might have, tons of new people come in one day that are going to need to know that information. Maybe they're going to take it to a party, maybe they're going to share it, and you want to spread your information as far as possible. You can definitely provide bags as an additional tool so people feel comfortable walking away with their items. I did this for a while and then I quit because they were blowing away. But you could do that, and it would be cute to put maybe like a little coupon in there or an info sheet about your business or something like maybe another service that you provide, like if you teach classes. And then when people take their stuff home, they'll see your information inside. As an added bonus, if you do any kind of pre-sales or if anything's coming up, definitely post like a QR code sheet. So when people show up, they can scan it and they can sign up for your pre-sale or your class, or they can join your email list, or they can follow you, all that kind of good stuff. Like just have that plastered up there, or maybe by the payment area, so that they know that they can do all of that on their own. And then lastly, just definitely consider getting partnered with maybe another business, multiple other businesses, an influencer in your area that maybe reviews food, things like that, to help you spread the word about your pop-ups. Have them come, do a video, give them some free product, whatever you need to do to get people interested in seeing what you're doing. And then maybe you can collaborate and all that other stuff, depending on what they have going on. Okay. Kitchen Facebook group, got it. Thanks for all your information, presentation, to hop off, look forward. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I get plenty of foot traffic because I live in Brooklyn, New York, right next to a school. Uh-oh, that's a good one. I definitely feel like I would need to sit out front, sit right by the window, let folks know I'm yeah. Well, you can have, those cute little signs that's like, smile, you're on camera. I mean, you could put something like that out too. But I think, honestly, if you wanted to be out there like the first week or two, that might help you feel comfortable. I will say that sometimes people don't approach because they see a person. Some people are just a little anxious still. I think maybe COVID and all of that. So definitely do it if that makes you feel comfortable, but you might actually get more traffic if you aren't out there. I'll talk a little bit about what has happened to me to give you a view on that. When doing your first one, how many people do you plan for? That is maybe, okay. So Daphne, honestly, for your first one, I would make it as least painful as possible for you. Make extra of something you're already making. Don't make too much. Like my goal for you, honestly, is to sell out. Like I don't want you to have anything left. Do your best hits, the things that people love. Don't try anything new or something that people wouldn't know. Do a couple, 1 or 2 or 3 biggest hits, put some extra out there, tell people about it and see how it goes. It might take some time for people to learn about it and to be comfortable coming by regularly. I think the time frame is different, for everybody, but yeah, don't go too hard just in case, or make everything freezable, bring it in and freeze it if it doesn't sell or something like that. Thinking of doing this for Mother's Day or Easter. Yeah. So that would be perfect. Mother's Day, people, maybe moms bring their kids or dads bring the kids and come, hey, pick something out for mom. Super cute. Make sure that things have like a longer shelf life for any holidays. So if they buy it a couple days earlier, it'll still be good. That's just something I learned with people, planning to come a little early to get something. Oh, you're welcome, Sharon. Long Island, let me know when you try it. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like you guys are just going to be on the looking up to see if you guys can do this. Yes, the freezer. I'm a big go-to time. You need to rein it in. Yeah, rein it in. Just think to yourself, my goal is to sell out. Like I want to make it small and I want to make it impactful, but I'm not going to make this my whole day. Like I just want to try it. I just want to see. And then if it doesn't sell, I'll freeze it or however. All right. So because we have, I could talk forever if anyone here knows me, so I want to move on. Pros and cons of a porch pop-up. I just want to lay these out real quick. Just after 3 years, what happened? Okay, so the cons. You may at some point deal with missed payment. You can construct it so that doesn't really happen. Like if you had them use your cast iron website, it would be pretty hard for them to mispay. But if you're using something else, human error is part of the model. It's kind of like if you're not there to guide them, moms get overwhelmed. Some people have leashed dogs that are like going all over. Sometimes people just make mistakes. You may be able to contact them. If there's a miscalculation, you might know them or they left their phone number with you, you know, whatever it is. So you might be able to make it right. But this is where having your items uploaded already with your photos and your website is going to be easier for people to not have to do any math. I did leave a calculator out with in my payment area because I was afraid people weren't going to want to do math. I know most people have one on their phone, but you know, I had a lot of high schoolers coming by, so I did leave that out there. So if you're going to use something that's like Venmo, Cash App, etc., just know that human error can be involved with that, and just do your best to try to make it easy, but also avoid issues. Number two, you may at some point have to deal with theft. That's like the number one question I get. Didn't people come and steal everything you had? Absolutely not. Like, I didn't have any adults steal anything. And in fact, if they miscalculated, they would get home because I price all the products individually. They would get home and realize that they had mispaid me, and then they would send me the difference. So I really didn't have to deal with that as much. It was a military installation that may or may not have had something to do with it. But you know, there's still crime on military installations. So I think if it was going to happen, it would happen there, and it didn't. The only people that ever took anything from me were kids. One of them was a group of boys who were bored and they were like testing each other. And then their parents paid me because I caught them with my camera. And also a young girl who didn't understand how money worked. And she tried to trade me a rare coin, like one of those dollar coins. And she told me it was worth $50. So she tried to trade me for $50 worth of product. So again, I caught her because I had the cameras before she left, but things like that. So you'll end up with some stories. And I think because I was across from a park, that created this scenario. So if you're across from a school, that might happen too. And your location just may determine how risky it is theft-wise. But again, security cameras can help with that. Now, 3, the weather may ruin some of your packaging or products. Expect that to happen once in a while. Some of the same with an outdoor market if you do those. Sometimes it's dusty or hot and things get ruined. You know, it just happens. It's just part of the porch pop-up model, although you could get something like a cooler or a porch covering to help with this. And you definitely want to keep everything in an airtight container to avoid losing product to weather. So just make sure it's not like a loosely closed bag. Just make sure everything's airtight, get a heat sealer, whatever you need. Number 4, people were often waiting until the last minute during the holidays because they knew I was open. So not really a con per se, but I want you to imagine how that would look. So slowly trickle in holiday products worked better for me. And then just everything goes out like right before I'm about to take my holiday time. And people would just come and grab. Literally, people would be walking away with like $200 worth of product because they had fun. It was fun for them to shop that way. All right, here's a few pros to leave you with. Although this is not a form of fully passive income, it's pretty hard to find something that's fully passive. It consumes much less of your time than any other form of manned pop-up or market that I have ever done. Like way less time for way more money. You can set this up anytime you're already at home or baking and just sell while you're working. So it's kind of like you're doubling up on your time. 2, it's also a great way to promote your business consistently. So if you're having trouble with that, it gives people a chance to try your products. If, you know, maybe you only sell your minimum orders like $200 or $300, like mine used to be for custom work, it can get them in there getting a $6, you know, bag of something. So they get to know you and get to see how you bake, and they can see a wider range of what you're making. Number 3, if you tend to have some product on hand anyway, this is a great way to sell that product more quickly without having to schedule individual meetups, which take so much time. They can just come on their own. Number 4, if you open the pop-up regularly, you'll create a loyal client base who just loves stopping by and grabbing something. That's what I was noticing. Sometimes it was just $6 here, $10 here, but they were coming by every day because it became part of their routine. And it's a habit, and they're going to tell people about their habit. So it's just more support for you. And then 5, for the small amount of time invested to set up and break down, for me, it was 30 to 45 minutes max. It has potential to bring in a lot of sales on top of that, and it is not stressful to run, in my opinion. So I would absolutely recommend this to any baker who has a product safe area to place items for sale, can have the pop-up regularly open, has the ability to be home to help manage any issues, especially as you get started. And 4, has the ability to promote the pop-up via a website, social, email, partnerships, etc. So just have the ability to get the word out. I know some people haven't set all that up yet. So definitely get 1 or 2 avenues of telling people ready first before you start, just so that you have a way to be known in your area. I'm going to do those real quick. Planning a springtime pop-up cafe amongst family and friends. Dry run, good. Dry runs are good. Thinking of putting a QR code in the flyer invite. Perfect, yes. Small survey listing flavors, yes. To gauge everyone's interest. Perfect idea, definitely do that. Okay, connect. Okay. How do you worry about people cheating you? You mean like people not paying enough? Like I said, it was really like that little girl. I don't know, she was probably 10 or 12. She was honestly the only person that ever made me feel like she was doing something wrong. For 3 years, I never had a problem with adults. Like I said, some of them would like miscalculate, but I had them on camera. I saw their transaction come through, so I had their name and number anyway. We were able to make it right. No one ever had an issue with it. Honestly, I do it for fun. I don't put my whole day into it. It's kind of like a side sale, if that makes sense, because I have other stuff going on. It's kind of the leftovers or the extras. It's just an extra fun thing. And sometimes it can be thousands of dollars of sales. So it ends up working out. Sometimes it's a couple hundred, that's okay too. I let that part go, I guess. And I guess I think to myself, if someone's willing to come up here and steal a brownie, they must really need that brownie. You know, like it's okay. It's not going to ruin my day. So, but some places are higher crime. So it really depends on how you feel about it. Still sounds like an awesome idea. I can't wait to try this. Okay, Sharon, yes, if you have questions, there's my website. You can do a little contact thing. Let me know. What is the Facebook group? Okay. Cool. Oh, so Build a Better Bakery, Ellen, thank you. Shared, oh, you're so sweet. Okay, thank you. Wow. Yeah, you guys can join the group if you want to. The brand page has events and things on it as well. So both of them are useful. The group is pretty active, so if you want to come in there and hang out, you definitely can. Before I let you go, if y'all are interested in more professional development opportunities with me specifically, I would like to invite you to a positive pricing mindset bite-sized workshop. I know that's a mouthful, but essentially we're covering how to not feel bad about your pricing, at its basic form, with a bunch of other bonuses and extra ways to get more mentorship and further your education on pricing and things like that. So this is kind of like square one, meeting you where you're at. If you feel bad about asking for money, we're going to talk about mindset with that. It's really super important. I like to do that during Q1 just to get you in gear so that you're all set up and ready to go by the holidays so you can knock the year out of the park. I'm going to be doing that on Monday. So if you go into those groups, you'll see that information right away. You can join on the website. We also host bakers in our group Elite Mentorship Program with those weekly coaching sessions. That's included. So that's a good one. I do offer private coaching if you want to be by yourself. Understandable. We do that too. And we also have self-guided courses and things online that you can just do all on your own if you don't want to have the one-on-one. Totally get that too. So there's lots of things going on for you to get involved depending on your comfort level and what you're interested in. You can pop over to the website. It's buildabetterbakerynow.com, which you can see here. I think maybe I'll put it up in just a second. If any of that sounds useful for you, and I wanted to thank you for being here with us today. Let me know if you have any other questions about pop-up sales model or just in general for me, and I can answer those now.
Amazing. Melissa, thank you so much. What time on Monday is the event?
It's 4 to 5 Mountain Time, so I'm going to do these in the evenings for people who work. And then I also send replays. So if you can't show up, you'll get the replay and all the bonuses like a couple hours later.
Amazing. Melissa, I introed you by talking about your authenticity, and it just shone through in so many ways. You know what you're talking about, and you've done this, and there's such practical advice. So I can't thank you enough for sharing your knowledge with us today. It was extremely, extremely helpful. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Take care. All right. Gosh, I mean, how great are these coaches? Papa 1 in the chat if you thought the coaches were great. Papa 2 in the chat if you thought they were amazingly great. And Papa 3 or something, there we go. Like maybe a number of how many things you wrote down in there, because it was just insane. I love our coaches. I love that we're partnered with them. I love that they can help you build a better business so you can live the life you want to live. It was so inspiring and so great. And each one brings such a special set of experiences and skills that finding the right coach for you is really, really can be a huge unlock for you. So now I'm going to try to share my screen. and see if I can do that successfully. And I hope I have done that correctly. All right, so let's see here. Great. For those of you I haven't met, I'm Mark Josephson, and I am the founder and CEO of Cast Iron. And I started this business almost 3 years ago because I have a passion for entrepreneurship. If you can't tell my passion already, it comes through every chance I get. And I've been working my whole career in tech, largely focused on small businesses, how to help small businesses and individual entrepreneurs become more successful. How do we use technology to make your life easier? And how also can we create moments of joy that only food can do? And I've got a very, let's call it complex, but rich relationship with food. And I'm blown away by, I've worked on some massive websites and internet businesses, but they've never been able to actually deliver the moment of joy that comes when you hand something that you've made to somebody else. And that is something I'm looking to capture and try to deliver for you all as well. So this really has been a labor of love for me and the team, as I've had the chance to meet and speak with thousands of cottage food artisans over the years. You inspire me and the team every day, and the best part of our days is when we get to interact with you. And if you've spoken with our support team or you've tagged us for a question in a Facebook group somewhere on the web, you know that we're real people and that we're really here to help you. I would love to have you pop into chat, and just, if you are a current Cast Iron customer already, put a 1 and put a 0 if you're not, just to get a sense of who's here today. That would be helpful. And while you do that, I want to share with you, talk a little bit about who we're building for. So we have made the very specific decision to build exclusively for home and cottage food creators, bakers, chefs, charcuteries, meal preppers, sauce makers, and more. We don't build for restaurants. We don't build for anyone. If just anybody wants a website or they want to sell something, you shouldn't work with Cast Iron. This means, what that means is you can expect to log in to Cast Iron and sign up, and you should say, whoa, it's like you built this just for me. You should feel heard and understood. I hope you can see by the content that we brought today that this is built with you in mind. And so we listen to you, we build for you, and we mean to grow with you. So let's take a look at the journey that we've been on together for the past couple of years. And for us, it's really all started with helping you start your business and level up your professionalism. And it's start. We provide, and started by providing, a simple storefront web page. It is simple, it is templated, and it is easy. We've integrated the e-commerce, the tools you need to be able to take payments and give receipts. We have added we accept credit cards, Apple Pay, Google Pay, simple processes by which you can transact, and making it so simple for you to level up your business. I think it was Chef Amanda who talked about sending the systems, sending them to your website. No more taking orders from DM, no more taking orders from email or SMS, no more chasing customers for payment. And our stunningly simple platform takes care of all of that for you. From start, it's run. Once you're up and running, how do we make your life easier? We've spent enough time with you to know that 75 to 80% of your time is spent on doing things other than creating those moments of joy. I loved what Sari had to say about the different hats that we wear as entrepreneurs and as business people. There's other hats too. Are you a marketer? Are you a technologist? Are you a tax person, an accountant, an admin? You name it. Those are all things that you need to be to run a successful business. At Cast Iron, we are a team of seasoned, some of us are pretty old, gray-haired, technologists and marketers. This is our passion, and our calling is to build platforms that help people be really successful. And this team has built some of the most successful and powerful tools in the industry. We're blessed to have them here. I'm going to put a 1 in the chat because they work so hard and are so committed to your success. So thank them, that team who was up past midnight last night working on things, with a 1 in the chat. So I'm so thankful for all of them. We want to make your life simple. We want to streamline your day-to-day life. Those are things that technology can do. So like, what does that include? It includes a CRM, a customer relationship management, fancy word for a contact list. So we manage all of your customer lists and that all of your customer data. No more having to write it down on a Post-it or a legal pad. Custom order forms to streamline that complexity of going back and forth with a customer about inspo photos or colors or dates or sizes or servings. We made that stunningly simple for you to streamline those. How about some of those bigger corporate orders you might want to get that insist on paying with an invoice? No problem. We created that for you as well. We also heard about the calendar and how complex it can be and annoying it can be when people like ask for something and they want it for tomorrow. So we built a calendar that manages and communicates your availability so you don't get triple booked and you can manage lead time and all of those. And just a few weeks ago, we released a powerful new pre-sales and product drop templates, again, to simplify and streamline everything that you do. And remember, we built for you, the cottage baker, the cottage food maker, because we're so passionate about helping you be successful. So after that, we heard from you loud and clear about the importance of your brand and the need for your artistry to shine through. So we started with pretty simple, straightforward pages that people could order from, but then we built even more technology and more customization. So we built the easiest to customize custom websites to bring your business to life. That includes that includes photo galleries and pages to list the events you're going to be at, and all of the tools that you need to be able to communicate your story the way that you want to, because you and your artistry and your passion are what sets you apart from others who might be doing this, and why people should pay you a lot of money for your creations. And we have helped you start, we have helped you run, but what is next? We have always had another piece of the puzzle that we have wanted to build, and I'm so excited today to start to share that with you. We always ask when we talk to people is, what's the hardest part of running this cottage food business? And what is the part that you like the least? And what we have heard consistently is that marketing, social media, acquiring new customers, and growing is the hardest part. It takes constant effort. It distracts you from what you love most. It is most likely not your superpower. And well, worry no more, because we're excited to talk to you today about how we're adding grow to start and run as one of our core pillars. And we're doing that with the launch of shopcastiron.com, a consumer marketplace that features all of the incredible artisans and the artistry of cast iron users. Launching to consumers 1 week from today, you can go there now and see the holding page at shopcastiron.com. I want you to think about it as Etsy for handmade artisanal food. I know that Etsy it's a really successful and big business, and what they do really well is drive traffic and be a growth engine that helps their artisans achieve and live the life that they want. And we are going to be doing that for you. We've learned a lot from what Etsy does well and a lot about what we want to do better than Etsy. So let's dig in a little bit. We're going to bring traffic to the marketplace and into your shops. How are we going to do it? With a full featured world-class marketing machine. We have had hundreds of thousands of shoppers come through the doors of Cast Iron over the last year, and we're looking to grow that significantly over the next few years. We have dollars that we are going to spend on advertising. We are creating organic content. We have new organic social profiles at Shop Cast Iron on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And we are partnerships already in the works with local media companies, other places that will help us drive traffic, grow awareness, and drive business to you in your shops. We also, as part of this, we have done a lot of work on improving the SEO, the search engine optimization, to really help people be seen more in your local markets and to make sure that we are bringing our superpowers, technology, marketing, budget, to bear to drive traffic to the marketplace and to drive traffic to your shop, because every day is more special if there's something special from a cast iron artisan. And if I ever get a second tattoo, as I just got my first, if I ever get a second tattoo, it might say that every day is more special with a special treat from a cast iron artisan. So how are we going to do this? For starters, we are going to be working with a holiday calendar, special events, special foods. We've seen it in the data, we've seen it in the sales, we've learned it from you. And we're launching our first specific marketing campaign for Easter. And we need you to participate in that campaign. And I'm going to give you a link in a second. Okay. We're going to have a steady drumbeat of promotions every day, every week, every month around holidays and special events. Some holidays, obviously, I think Christmas is on December 25th this year. New Year's is on the 1st. I checked my calendar, but I think that's right. But then there are birthdays, bridal showers, baby showers, other events as well that are more evergreen. But we're going to be helping you with that as well. We're going to be giving you and sharing more tools, templates, and resources to help you reach your customers. We realize that growth is the fuel that lets you live the life that you want and achieve the goals that you have. And that starts with traffic, and that starts with awareness, and that starts with the resources that we can help bring to bear on your behalf. So this is what the Easter results might look like when you search the cast iron marketplace. We're going to allow people to search by location and by product types, all that as well. And all of this is now built into the onboarding and into your admin so that you can easily take part in all of this. But I'm going to pause here on this screen for a second because I need you to be on board for our Easter promotion. And you do need to be a cast iron customer to do this. And I'll talk about our even better, more attractive pricing in a minute. But please scan this code and submit your info for our Easter campaign, which starts 1 week from today. We will ask you to have product links for your for the products in your cast iron shop and photos so we can use them to promote. We're going to do it for you. So we want to make sure that we are driving traffic to cast iron marketplace shops, and that's what we want to do. So I'll bring this back up again in a minute. Bring this back up. Yep, Beverly, Easter is March 31st, and we will get Mother's Day weekend cranking too. I promise. We're going to do all of them. So I'll bring back this QR code in at the end so that you can do that. We can't do this if you don't create Easter products. And we'll merchandise them, but I need to make sure that we have sufficient inventory so we can put our marketing engine to work for you. Okay. And the best part about it is that it's practically free. And this is really important to me because when I started this business, anyone who's been around for a long time, you know that we have been working hard to find the right model where we're in partnership with you. Our founding documents, God is my witness, say, I only want to make money when you make money. And so we are resetting our pricing for the marketplace going forward, and we're going to do it, and we're going to only get paid when you get paid. And we're going to keep the fees really, really low to start. So if you sign up today, or if you join the cast iron in the marketplace, you're only going to have a 1% transaction fee. And that 1% transaction fee will last for the whole year of 2024. And then in 2025, we're going to raise it to 3%, but we're telling you that now. And even then, they'll be the lowest in the market. And that's really important to me because I want this to be a no-brainer for you to try so you can start, run, and grow. And as we are working on your behalf to drive traffic and to help you build your business, it feels like a fair trade to me. And I do believe that this model will align us as partners and provide us what we need to build a durable, enduring business so that we can be in business together for a long, long time. And we have FAQs and we have anything that you might want to know to help you through this process. Lastly, this has been quite a trip. I learned so much from the coaches today, and I take a lot from them. I have such immense gratitude to my team who works tirelessly and puts up with my craziness. I am so thankful for them. They share the drive and mission that we all have to help you be successful. We talk every day about helping you. And I'm sure if they didn't believe in the mission and believe in you as our customers, it would be a different, I'm sometimes tough to deal with. So I am so grateful to my team, whose company I enjoy, and work product I am so thankful for and in awe of. I am thankful to my family who puts up with me and lets me work 7 days a week on this and doesn't yell at me when I get cookies to the house all the time and we're eating way too much. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful to you because you are the reason why we all get up every day and get to work. We are excited to be in partnership with you. We are excited to grow with you. And we're excited and appreciate the grace with which you let us build our business and build our partnership together. We have thousands of you that we work with. We have millions of dollars that we've transacted and countless moments of joy, getting a little choked up. But I promise you that the best is yet to come. And I'm so happy that you are here along for the journey as we will help you start, run, and grow your business together. My email address is mark@shopcastiron.com and castiron.me. We're switching our domain. So please check out shopcastiron.com and scan this code. I'm going to look tonight and tomorrow at the form and see how many people have submitted your Easter products. We will market your Easter products. Thank you, Andrea, for putting it in there. That's perfect. Click on that link. We need you to submit, or else we're just going to market what we have. Okay? And we are only marketing things that we can sell because we want to make moments of joy. People are looking for cookies and treats and dough and bread and things for their Easter parties. We know that is true. And yes, we know that's coming for Mother's Day. I'm seeing it happen already for St. Patrick's Day, and we are going to be ramping up our marketing engine throughout the whole year. As we are coming to the end of this Flower Power event, I want to again thank you all. Please feel free to reach out to me directly. You can always get somebody at help@castiron.me. The team, Kelsey, Ellen, and Lisa are there, and they are just wonderful support for you all and available to help you with anything you need. Our community is the kitchen on Facebook. To our coaches who joined us today, thank you 1,000 times. I couldn't be more grateful. I love my job and I love working with all of you. Thank you so much for everything you do and have a wonderful, wonderful day.